Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Kleinveld, and you are listening to a special edition of Advanced Journalism here on 360 AM. The lustrum of the youngest university in the Netherlands is coming up. The Roosevelt Academy in Middelburg was founded in 2003 as a satellite campus of the University of Utrecht. However, the Roosevelt Academy has another unique element. It is mandatory for students to live on a campus, in a city that, until 5 years ago, had no experience whatsoever with students. In total, some 500 students from over 45 different countries are now living in Middelburg. At the time the Roosevelt Academy was founded, the Secretary of Education proposed a similar plan for the entire country to deal with the extreme shortage of student houses. Advanced Journalism want to see if this new approach was indeed a success. Our reporter Jan Hupkens went to Woongoed Middelburg, the company that owns all the houses, to see what they think about this. Um, Apparently the item for Woongoed is not in our databases. The editor is looking into this, and we hope we can bring it to you later this broadcast. I apologize for the inconvenience. But for now, we'll move on to a different interview. Earlier today I spoke on the phone with Nienke Kane, the newly elected chair of the Housing Affairs Council. This council was founded in 2005 to represent all student housing interest, to the Woongoed Middelburg, to the Roosevelt Academy, but also to the neighbors. I asked her about her plans, ambitions and experiences. Nienke, last year you represented the Begijnhof location in the Housing Affairs Councils, and recently you were elected chair. Why did you decide to run again?
I really knew very little about the whole HUC when I actually entered the board. I thought it would just be great to do something for our location and had some ideas, and I knew they needed someone. So I ran and I fairly easily got in. And then it all started off. Then I found out that there were actually weekly meetings and what the function was of being representative. And I really enjoyed making sure that students in Begijnhof enjoyed their stay in this location. So that actually was also my motivation to run again and try to do the same, but then on a higher level for all students.
And don't you think you'll ever get tired of it?
Oh, certainly.
Can you briefly summarize what the HUC does and how that came to be?
Yes, well, nowadays HUC does quite a lot of things. The main point or thing we do is to represent students at Woongoed. We have our bi-weekly meetings where we address issues and talk about problems and make sure problems are solved. We have our meetings with RA, where we address the problems, of course, that are more of their concern. And we try to deal with the students themselves and do things with their ideas, make sure it's a pleasure to actually live on campus.
But do you guys just represent the students, or are you also doing more concrete things to help them?
We have surveillance that takes care of students when they're coming out of the barrel on the noisy Tuesday evenings, so the neighbors don't have that much noise problems with us. And there's the ISHF for students that are from abroad to help them financing their rent.
Okay, Nienke, thank you very much. One more question. Now that you are on the board for another year, what are your ambitions and what do you want to achieve next year?
I think it's very important that we keep up with the good work of last year. And that we also have a clear mind on what responsibilities we want to take, to what extent we want to broaden our tasks, and where we want to focus more on what we already do.
Okay, thank you again. That was Nienke Kane, the chair of the Housing Affairs Council. But maybe more importantly, we still have the question, how do the students feel about the situation? Marloes Noppe went down to the Roosevelt Academy and asked a couple of them for memories of their time living on the Roosevelt Academy campus.
Marianne Klok has lived in Roggeveen for over 2 years, and those years did not pass uneventfully.
So I was living in Roggeveen and I was writing my paper when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard a knock. And not on my door, but on my window. It was a guy telling me that he was going to replace my window. Well, it was in the middle of the winter, so it already was cold with a window. Can you imagine without a window? So the problem also was that my digital piano was still in front of the window, so we had to move that away, and also we had to move all of the paintings away from my window. So eventually it worked out, but it was quite an experience.
Lizzie van Velzen lives together with 9 other students in Begijnhof. She has always seen living together as the greatest asset of studying at the Roosevelt Academy, but that does not leave aside that neighbors do strange things sometimes.
So, my upstairs neighbor had a friend over, and after a night of nuisance, I was afraid to go to the living room. So when I finally went downstairs, I was welcomed by dozens of raw frikandellen. Apparently, they had felt the need to empty our freezer and refurbish our house with the content. Even our walls weren't safe. So today still there is a sign on the wall stating that in this hotel we eat frikandel.
Angelica Reitsma also lives at Begijnhof. She loves her neighbors, even so much that she can't stop interacting with them anywhere in the house.
So, in Begijnhof 6 I'm very much connected to my fellow peers. And very much with my neighbor, Lizzie, who I talk to all the time, even when I'm on the toilet. So basically, when I sit on the toilet, I talk about the newest trends, basically shout this through the door so that everybody can hear, and I bitch about the freaking toilet paper, which is way too hard, scratches my back and butt, and it's just my favorite place in the whole house. It's the only place where I can get completely rested, and it's completely zen. So freaking toilet paper, freaking toilet in Begijnhof 6 is the most awesome place ever.
Okay, that was it for today. I thank you very much for listening to Advanced Journalism here on 360 FM, and we hope you tune in next week. Goodbye.